The hardware allows us to take these visions, these ideas about these new products, and make it all real.
Imagine a computer that allows you to put your images anywhere, and you can interact with things as a combination of the real world and holograms.
You have a bunch of different systems that need to come together in one big symphony.
Every time you think you understand it, it's like peeling an onion. There's suddenly another layer of things which you suddenly realize, oh yeah, of course, we have to figure that out now.
We don't have room for error, we don't have room for drift, we don't have room for those normal things that happen in a device.
So it's working with these people across the world and bringing it all together into this brand new product.
We envisioned an all-in-one device that is untethered, with built-in batteries, hands-free, and floating audio.
You have to come up with a holographic processing unit because you're constantly producing data every single millisecond.
Hololens is so complex. While it looks very simple and pure, it needs to accommodate so many requirements to see progressive content.
The audio components need to take in all of that information about where is my head, where am I looking, so that your brain knows that there's something real over there.
The enclosure wraps around the user's head to provide great weight distribution.
We have so many sensors on this product. To read all those in real time and to do that in a very power efficient way requires the power of what they developed with the new version of Windows.
We need to get the hardware just right so that we can sort of unleash that creativity in the world.
I think we have great ideas. I think when we get it out to developers, we're going to get hundreds of great ideas.
We want to get it out to people and show them, hey, this is real and this actually works. Now, let's see what you can do with it.
Hey everybody, Daniel Rubino here, Windows Central. We're at Build 2016 and we just came from another HoloLens experience. I say another one because this is about my 5th or 6th time. I've actually lost track about how many times I've actually used HoloLens. I'm happy to report there's been some more changes here with the hardware as it's become finalized and it started shipping today to developers who were selected for the program. So the hardware itself has improved quite a bit. Basically the way you adjust it, the way it fits. There's now buttons on there to control the volume. Don't forget this has stereo spatial speakers that are actually very good on it. There's also now a brightness switch on top. So they both sit on top of the headset itself. You control them with your fingertips. The way though the headset fits on the head was definitely much more comfortable. In terms of the field of view, always that big question for a lot of people. I'm going to say it actually felt better. I can't say they actually improved the size of it. I just can't measure that. But overall, I really had no complaints this time. We did quite a few experiments with it, basically deploying apps through Visual Studio to the HoloLens and experimenting with different aspects of it. It was a really great experience. I had no problems this time fitting it on my head. There's now a program built in to calibrate for your pupils. So don't forget, in order to use the HoloLens, it needs to basically align your pupils along with the hologram system. So before, they used to actually just physically measure the pupil distance, what's called interpupillary distance. Now the HoloLens itself can do this. You put it on and it runs a program with your finger in front of it and you basically give it a signal and it lines it up for you. Doing so, I had no issues and it felt great. I had no problems getting tired of my head. One other new experience where we're able to try is being able to share a hologram. So there's no fun in using a HoloLens just by yourself, or maybe there is, but it's more fun with other people. So when people put on a HoloLens and you have a few of them, you can line up the holograms so that you can all share the same experience and you can all interact with the same hologram. This of course opens up things for games as well, but it's also good for professional uses like modeling, anatomy, science, engineering. So definitely a cool addition that we're able to try for the first time. One other neat thing was for the first time I got to see the menu system of HoloLens. So basically when you're not loading any holograms, there's going to be a little menu that sits in front of you. There was Hey Cortana there, and there's also Internet Explorer and a couple other tools. Definitely some cool stuff. Of course, Skype is coming to HoloLens as well. So basically when you put this on, it's sort of just like a computer where you're going to have a menu and apps you can interact with. And that is all before you actually deploy a hologram to it so you can actually run it and interact with it. Kind of neat stuff. So I'm really glad to see this continued evolution of the HoloLens hardware and the software. You know, it's still not going to be completely ready for public yet. It's in developers' hands now, so we can see what they can create with it. But we'll see more of this device later in 2016 and 2017 and, well, basically the future, because folks, holographic computing is here. So that was my experience of HoloLens at Build 2016. Stay tuned to Windows Central for more information, especially on HoloLens. We'll be doing a lot more in the coming weeks. Stay tuned.
With HoloLens dev kits about to go out into the world, we asked the community, what would you want us to build? After submitting more than 5,000 ideas, you voted for Galaxy Explorer.
We've invited you into the process of brainstorming, prototyping, and developing for HoloLens.
Galaxy Explorer is a jumping off point for developing for HoloLens. So you can actually download all of our source code and see how we incorporated gaze, gesture, voice, spatial sound, and spatial mapping, and then use that directly in your own projects.
We wanted to show you how we actually develop apps. Through videos and blog posts, we let you into our development process. We also brought in a Share Your Idea contributor to take a look at Galaxy Explorer and give us feedback from the community.
Seems like there's so many possibilities you could have for building apps. I want to push creative boundaries and just see what it's capable of doing.
There's still so much more you can add to the app. Now, we want to see what ideas you come up with.
Today we're releasing the app and the source code to you.
You can extend the source code, or you can use it as inspiration for your own amazing ideas.
Now that HoloLens is here, we can't wait to see what you create.
Good morning. At Case Western Reserve, our motto is, think beyond the possible. And today, we and the Cleveland Clinic are constructing a state-of-the-future health education campus. Within this building, our students will learn using the most forward-looking educational programs. HoloLens is a key part of this. Now, last year, we showed a few things that we thought might be possible with HoloLens. Since October, we've had a small team of 3 computer programmers turning our ideas into reality. Today, we're going to show you some of our work on our holographic anatomy program, an example of the hours of curricular content that we have created. Now, anatomy is all about mastering the complex systems in the body, and you can see from the digestive system here that there are a lot of parts in a small space, and students need to understand not only how these parts fit together, but how they work together. Henry, can you tell us which organ in the body aids in digestion and also makes insulin?
Yes, that would be the pancreas. It can be a little hard to see it behind the stomach here.
Well, thankfully, with HoloLens, it's really easy to get the best view of things.
Now, another area that's difficult for our students to fully grasp is the nervous system. HoloLens can make this much easier by improving our interactive learning beyond the single classroom. Professor Mark Griswold can teach us about the anatomy of the brain, even though he's in Cleveland. Let's show you how this works. Are you there, Mark?
I am. Hi, Pam. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our new classroom. This is our new system that allows me to teach and interact with you, even though I'm not there at Build. I'll tell you, this feels really natural. The 3 of us can see each other as we're talking, which makes us feel connected. And even though you can only see my head and hands, you get a sense of my body language. This is really changing what it means to be in class.
Mark, let's show them the white matter tracts. These tracts act like superhighways, allowing messages to travel from one part of the brain to another. This example comes from an MRI scan of a real patient from the laboratory of Professor Cameron McIntyre at Case Western Reserve University.
It's critical that our students know how these structures relate to one another. I can tell you I've looked at data sets like this for over 10 years, and I never fully understood their 3D structure until I saw them in HoloLens. Let's say we have a patient with a brain tumor, which we're showing here with this red area. Hey, Jeff and Henry, can you see how this tumor intersects the light blue tract, but not the green tract or the yellow one? This allows us to predict the impact of this tumor on the patient's symptoms and their outcomes after surgery.
This could impact the occipital lobe back here, which may harm the patient's vision.
It might also influence the parietal lobe here, which would affect their sense of touch.
The quicker our students learn facts like these, the more time they have to think with them. We are teaching them to think like a doctor. Thanks, Mark, for joining us today.
Bye, everybody.
Being untethered and able to walk around 3D holographic content gives our students a real advantage. Students have commented that a 15-minute session with HoloLens could have saved them dozens of hours in the cadaveric lab. When we have only 4 short years to train them, this is extremely valuable. We're so grateful to Microsoft for giving us the opportunity to develop this technology, and we can't wait to collaborate with others using HoloLens to think and to see beyond the possible.
At NASA, we're excited to apply mixed reality technologies to the challenges we're facing in space exploration. Through a collaboration with Microsoft, we're building applications to support engineers responsible for the design and assembly of spacecraft, astronauts working on the International Space Station, and scientists are now using our Mars tool on-site in mission operations.
On-site's a powerful tool for our scientists and engineers to explore Mars. But because we always felt it shouldn't remain only within NASA, we've taken the core of on-site and made an amazing experience that allows the public to explore the red planet. We call this new experience Destination Mars.
Mars can be a lonely place. So we've created holographic captures of an astronaut and a member of the Curiosity rover team to be our guides on this journey. And this gave us an opportunity to immortalize a hero.
Hi there, I'm Buzz Aldrin.
We're looking forward to opening the Destination Mars exhibit at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in summer 2016. We can't wait to share this journey with the world.
Let's go to Mars.
I wasn't so sure about the HoloLens when Microsoft showed it last year. It had a small field of view, but somehow that doesn't bother me anymore. HoloLens looks fantastic. Physically, the HoloLens reminds me of a hard plastic sun visor with the sunglasses mounted on the front. Although it weighs a bit more than a pound, all that weight rests around the brim of your head, so it's really not that annoying. Just be careful not to let the headset rest on the bridge of your nose. If it dips down, which it occasionally does, it compresses your field of view to about a wedge. Still, with its padded headband, it's surprisingly comfortable. Think of the HoloLens eyewear as small projector TVs that work best with dark backgrounds. The visuals wash out quickly when you're viewing holograms against a pale wall, so you'll want a fairly dim room for HoloLens to give you its best effect. The resolution is crisp though, and most importantly, I never felt the faintest hint of nausea. Yes, the field of view might be smaller than you'd expect, about the size of a smartphone a few inches from your face. It's only really noticeable though when you're looking at a virtual object that's larger than its field of view. I was surprised though at the level of polish of the user interface. A bloom gesture brings you back to the Start menu, which is basically a stripped-down version of the conventional Windows 10 Start menu. It's got a clock, a battery indicator, Cortana, Microsoft Edge, and an app drawer. Look at an object, click with an air tap, and off you go. As for audio, small speakers are mounted right next to your ears, providing loud, localized sound. I wish I could show you the apps. Asobo, the studio that built a couple of the apps I tried, including HoloTour and Young Conquer, deserves a medal. But the version of the HoloLens we tried didn't allow for virtual capture. So, if you want to see what the HoloLens can do, and believe me, you do, you have got to get a hold of one of these things and try it out.
This is Microsoft Hololens. It's the company's augmented reality headset. We saw early versions of this last year, but now it's more than a prototype. This week it started shipping to developers and commercial customers who have paid $3,000 to experience the AR headset in all of its glory. But what's it really like to wear it? I'm Lauren Good, reporting for The Verge, and this over here on my right is my colleague Tom Warren. If you have followed The Verge's stories about Microsoft, you probably know who Tom is. This is the main event, the HoloLens itself. So it's definitely not unobtrusive, but considering its size, it's actually pretty lightweight. You put it on by fitting this interior band around your head, and then you use this twisty dial in the back to adjust the fit. It can either rest on your nose or just above it. Air tapping is how you select things when you're gazing at all of the virtual stuff in the world around you. There's also a hand gesture called the bloom that tells the computer to go back to the start menu. So yeah, this thing is an entire computer on your head. It runs on Windows 10, which means that in addition to HoloLens specific apps, you can do just normal stuff too, like browse the web. You can see how the air tapping becomes more than just a select function in a game like Robo-Raid, which Tom played for a while the other day while wearing HoloLens.
So you tap to place it on the wall, and then it's going to scan your environment. You walk around, and it will scan them, so you can see it pulsating off the walls over there. And this makes the best use, I think, of the spatial sound that you can hear in the headset. So you can hear stuff when it's attacking you from behind. So here you go. And basically you air tap and you shoot at these little robots here.
You can also air tap your way through Holo Studio, which is, in all seriousness, a holographic app for making other holographic apps. But if you're not into making apps, you can do stuff like make a Skype call to the Verge office back in New York.
Say hi, Nilay.
Hello. Who's this?
Hey, this is Tom Warren.
Hello, Tom.
He's currently talking to us on the HoloLens.
Oh wow! So we're seeing what he's seeing.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So what you're really experiencing with HoloLens is mixed reality. Some stuff is real, some stuff is not. Unlike a big, all-encompassing VR headset like Oculus Rift, you can still see some of the things around you while you're browsing the web or playing games. Things like walls or chairs or this table. It also feels slightly less dangerous than a VR headset because you actually have spatial recognition and a sense of depth. So, you know, maybe you won't hurt yourself trying to lean on an imaginary desk. But the way it's built also means that it's way less immersive than Microsoft has promised it to be. It's like the difference between looking at a projection of stars on your wall versus sitting in the middle of a pitch black planetarium. The graphics you've been watching in this video are the video outputs we got from Microsoft, but when you're actually wearing it, the field of view is limited. And that probably won't change once Microsoft ships this to consumers. So we had some fun with this new version of HoloLens. It's clear that Microsoft envisions this initially as something that will be used mostly for enterprise applications and in education and gaming too. What it will mean for the consumer market is still really a big unknown, and Microsoft is hoping that app developers might help shape that. It's definitely improved from the HoloLens prototypes we've worn before, and the experience of using it is way cooler than what it physically looks like. But it is still a headset on your head, and as cool as it is, it's a relief to take it off and return to the real world after a while.
I'm a huge fan of the dinosaur hologram. There are very few situations that aren't improved by a holographic goat.
I think my favorite actiongram is still our zombie named Ned. He's a great actor.
Actiongram is part of the first wave of launch applications for HoloLens.
The main point of Actiongram is to allow a user to tell a story by putting holograms in their world and then recording them and then share that.
So we give you a huge collection of holographic characters and props and tools, and you can use that to put holograms into the story that you want to tell.
My most popular video on YouTube, one of my friends spent hours adding effects. In the future, with holograms, I could maybe do those things in an afternoon. If you don't know how to use VFX or you don't have actor friends, you can't make the type of content that ActionGram is going to allow you to be able to make.
Our app is focused on humorous content, things that you might want to share online. But there's so many other forms of storytelling, educational storytelling, or instructional storytelling, and I think that's really exciting for developers.
No question in my mind that a small garage development team could easily make a HoloLens application. It's really no different than developing for any other mobile platform. The differences are in how you solve your problems rather than on the technical side.
We're on the cutting edge of this becoming the way people consume media and create media. I'm just so excited to watch that progress.
Now let's see if we can't figure out what you are, my little friend. And where you come from.
I saw part of the message.
I seem to have found it.
General Kenobi, years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. Now he begs you to help him in his struggle against the Empire. I regret that I am unable to present my father's request to you in person, but my ship has fallen under attack, and I'm afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. I have placed information vital to the survival of the rebellion into the memory systems of this R2 unit. My father will know how to retrieve it. You must see this droid safely delivered to him on Alderaan. This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Holograms are confusing. They're those weird 3D ghost images that appear to follow you as you move, but they're actually completely flat 2D films. And yet they have motion parallax. That is, as you move your gaze, things in the foreground seem to shift faster than things in the background. And they give you a stereoscopic view. That is, you see two different images with each eye, which together create the perception of depth. 3D movies aren't even this 3D. They don't even have motion parallax. So holograms need some really special properties to appear 3D. One is that they show different images depending on where you stand in front of the hologram. This is really unusual. Let's recall that when you look at a regular photograph, it looks the same no matter which way you look at it. What you're seeing when you look at the photo is a white light beam. White light is like a crowd of people. They're walking with different footstep lengths, like the different wavelengths or colors in white light, in every different direction as the light spreads out. That beam reflecting off the photo is like freeze framing the white light crowd. Blue light here, red light there, and it's stagnant. You can't move the crowd around. Blue parts will always be here to the left of those red parts. With a hologram, you can move. It provides that parallax effect. Check it out. This is the setup to make one type of hologram, although the other types are similar. It starts with a laser beam, which is split into two. Then both of the beams go through lenses to make them spread out. One beam, the object beam, bounces off the object you're trying to image and shines onto the holographic film, while the other beam, the reference beam, goes straight there. And then, well, this is why we used lasers. Laser light looks very different from white light. It's all going in the same direction, it all has the same wavelength, and it's coherent, meaning all the light waves are in phase, or in unison. This is so key to making holograms. In cases where two coherent laser beams meet, they can create regular striped interference patterns, like this. In our case, the reference beam is a coherent beam, though the object beam is not. Still, when they meet, they also create an interference pattern, but a special one that encodes the specific 3D information about the object onto the holographic film. Now, we had a reference beam and an object beam, and together they created an interference pattern. A plus B equals C. What would happen if we took the interference pattern and sent the reference beam in through the back? That's kind of like C minus A. Well, that equals B. And sure enough, with this type of hologram, sending a laser beam in through the back of the film is how you get out the original object beam. That's the same beam that was created when the laser first shined off the object. Since this reproduced beam is a perfect copy of the object beam, you can't tell whether you're looking at the light from the hologram or from the original scene, complete with motion parallax and stereoscopic views. The other cool thing about holograms is that all parts of the hologram carry information about the object. So you could cut a little square of the hologram and you'd still be able to see the entire object in it. You can't do that with a photograph. Deep down though, the holographic film is just a bunch of interference patterns. Up close, the film looks like this, whereas a photographic film just looks like a smaller version of the image.
We've been teaching human anatomy the same way for 100 years. Students get a cadaver, then they look at medical illustrations, and it's completely two-dimensional, and the human body isn't.
Microsoft Hololens is a holographic computer that you wear. It enables you to bring your digital world into your real world.
At Case Western Reserve University, we are focused on solving problems and creating new knowledge.
My job is to teach, and I really think this could impact almost everything that we teach people. With HoloLens, you can see the muscles on top of the skeleton all at the same time. You can bring them in and out and exactly understand where things sit.
You can take any anatomical part and show any of it. You can move it around, you can make it kind of translucent so you can see through the outside, and that really helped me understand how cardiac anatomy worked. I actually had a moment where I found the aortic valve, and it was the first time that I'd actually seen the aortic valve in relation to all the other anatomical structures. You know, it was a way of seeing it that you couldn't do with an actual heart.
I think this will improve students' confidence in learning anatomy dramatically.
By creating simulations with the HoloLens that lets them have an experience where they can fail, that would be the best way to learn, because we don't allow people to fail too much in real-life medicine.
With HoloLens, you could imagine having a class standing around a model, almost like a tour group in a museum, where they're all interacting completely naturally. I spend a huge amount of time to make sure they become the best professionals, because it's all of our jobs to make the world a better place.
Working with Case Western Reserve University to create this paradigm shift so that we can leap together with students into the future of education. We believe that HoloLens is going to enable us to do that.
We talked about being able to use it to teach art history. We have an anthropology department too that I think will enjoy this technology.
Anytime you change the way that you see things, it changes the way that you understand them. As soon as you can change somebody's understanding, then they can change the way they see the world.
Thanks, Sari. Today, we're excited to show you mixed reality gaming on HoloLens. Specifically, how HoloLens can turn every room of your house into a personalized video game level. Now, to do that, we're going to be showing you a game codenamed Project X-Ray. We also have this custom camera that can see a full view of every hologram. Dan sees all the holograms he's looking at, but this camera will show you all of the action on stage. Now, Project X-Ray is a game that can be played in any room, but today Dan's going to be playing it here, and you're going to see him defend this stage from a mixed reality robot invasion. Previously, we've shown you how HoloLens can place amazing holograms in your world, and how those holograms can interact with the environment around you. But today, we want to take mixed reality one step further. So we've got something new to show you. Holograms you can hold. This holographic gauntlet is the weapon that Dan will be using while playing Project X-Ray. You'll notice that as he moves his arm, the hologram moves as well. This is a wearable hologram. And when you combine technology like this with the environment understanding of HoloLens, you can do some pretty spectacular things. Nice. All right, let's battle some robots. With HoloLens, you're completely untethered, which means Dan is free to move around as he shoots at enemies and avoids their fire. With HoloLens, the action happens all around you. And thanks to spatial sound, you'll hear the gameplay as though it's happening in your room. You'll notice that the robots know where the walls and the furniture are, and they can use that knowledge to navigate and plan attacks against you. Since each room is unique, every game is customized to you. That didn't work. What else you got?
Vortex mode.
Holograms behave just like real objects. They can interact with the environment and with each other. For larger enemies with more powerful weapons, Dan can even use his shield to defend himself. Nicely done. Looks like that's all of them. We hope you enjoyed Project X-Ray and mixed reality gaming on HoloLens. But that's just a taste, because with mixed reality entertainment, you never know what's around the corner.
Microsoft has revealed more about its forthcoming virtual reality headset, HoloLens, hardware that's packed with sensors and a double-layered lens to deliver untethered holographic computing to the masses. The company has taken a different tack to other VR systems on the market, designing HoloLens so as not to block out the real world, but rather allow the holograms it generates to coexist with the real world, delivering more of a blended reality. Given the device is braced to the user's head, HoloLens fortunately weighs significantly less than the average laptop, Microsoft said. Also, its engineers and designers have built the VR set so it can be adjusted for a range of head sizes and also accommodate most eyewear. The HoloLens may not weigh as much as a laptop, but it contains everything found in one, including core and graphics processors with an additional invention from Microsoft called the Holographic Processing Unit, HPU. The HPU gives HoloLens the real-time ability to understand where you're looking, to understand your gestures, and to spatially map the world around you. Conceived, designed, and engineered by Microsoft, the HPU is designed specifically to support the needs of HoloLens, Microsoft's head of next-generation devices, Todd Holmdahl said. To round out the holographic experience, the company has also worked on creating spatial sound so that users can hear a hologram from different directions. In addition to those sensors, it includes microphone array for capturing voice commands, a depth sensor to spatially map the user's environment and read hand gestures, as well as a photo and video camera to share images. Finally, the headset has an accelerometer, gyroscope, and magnetometer that together form what Microsoft calls an inertial measurement unit or IMU, which works together with head tracking cameras. Microsoft doesn't explain what the magnetometer, which is used to measure magnetic fields, is used for, but the overall purpose of the IMU is to keep track of where the user's head is moving. According to Holmdahl, Microsoft's plan is to bring holographic computing into all Windows 10 devices. Separately, it's also done a deal with 3D modeling software maker Autodesk to bring the company's 3D models to HoloLens. It will be possible to use Autodesk's Autodesk Maya and Fusion 360 to build 3D models that can be viewed in HoloLens. The idea is to help game developers and filmmakers speed up the development of new offerings, or to help engineers develop full-scale models during the design phase of product development. Autodesk is also lending a hand on Windows 10, embedding its Spark 3D printing software in Microsoft's OS. Autodesk said its Spark APIs will be able for free to the Microsoft developer community. We're approaching a tipping point with 3D printing, which means there is a huge market opportunity waiting for companies developing applications for Windows 10, Steve Guggenheimer, chief evangelist for Microsoft, said. By providing the 3D printing building blocks found in the Spark platform and optimizing it for Windows 10, Autodesk has empowered our global developer community to confidently enter this new world of additive manufacturing.
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen? Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine. Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. This is Microsoft Hololens.
When you think about how you experience technology today, it's like behind this glass screen. And you're kind of stuck. It feels cold. We've unlocked the screen.
Really what we're trying to do is break down the walls between, technology and people.
This is the next generation of computing. This is the next PC.
It's basically a see-through display that you wear, and it lets you see holograms in your world, in your space, all around you.
A hologram is made out of light, which ultimately allowed us to pour digital assets over the real world so that humans can essentially be entertained and be empowered to do things in brand new ways.
The ability to draw with your hand or to take an asset, an image and move it or scale it is a very natural way of interacting with it.
Here's what you can do with holographic video. Here's what you can do with using your world as a game level. Here's what you can do with taking the power of 3D modeling and creation, and guess what? Pulling it out of a screen into real 3D, and then sharing what you've created with others.
That was science fiction, and now we're bringing it into science fact.
They've been working on this for, years, secretly. You need to have a bunch of obsessive people who see this as a meaningful part of their lives.
This is by far, far, far the hardest, most complex, most challenging, and most intriguing thing I've ever done in my life.
I mean, we are literally smacking up against some of the laws of physics on what we can and can't do with light.
For all this complexity, it has to be incredibly easy, incredibly familiar, incredibly universal how you use this new palette.
We just recently started engaging with third parties to build applications for the device. And the things they're doing they're humbling.
When you've got 1,000 different people from all different backgrounds with all different types of experience, you're going to see that the stuff that we've built at the beginning is just a tiny scratching of the surface of, what this technology can do and what it can mean for people.
When the other perspectives come to it and all the creatives out there, it's going to blow our minds.
This is a new medium for artistic expression and a new medium for creation that we've just never had before.
This platform is going to truly blend your digital life with your physical life. And it is so thrilling. This is truly about seeing the world in a whole different way.